Let's talk about some quirky little household differences that you'll find in France compared to the US. In France, they seem to love clean, modern lines, minimalism, more than we do in the US. I think it might be a reaction to all the beautiful historic and ornate buildings they have. So you'll often find kitchen appliances covered or hidden in cupboards. So, for example, this is a refrigerator. And this is our little getaway apartment. You'll also find bigger versions, and in primary homes, you'll find the full big version of that. And this is our dishwasher currently running. Hope I didn't do any damage there by suddenly opening it. So this is something that's very common in French households. Another thing you'll see is showers almost always have these hose type connectors. They give you the option of running a bath or taking the hand part of the shower and rinsing yourself off that way rather than a stationary shower like you often see in the US. This again is our little apartment that we just bought, a little getaway apartment. So this will soon get upgraded to a little less plasticky one. But and typically that's what you see. You see nicer sort of metal ones in European homes or French homes. But you always have these where in US it's less common to have these showers at the end of a hose that are removable. Another thing that's different are the toilets. Now, moment of truth, scary moment. Let's open this up and show you. Okay, so first thing you'll notice is the water levels are lower, typically rest lower than the US. So here you have a small hole and the water just rests in there, which means if you want a clean toilet, you should really get to practice your aim for that target. Second, it doesn't swirl in a circle. It goes straight, just straight down. And typically, you'll find the flushing mechanism right there in the middle of the lid, which is most of the ones I've seen. That's where you find them. Not a huge difference, but it's there. The advantages, I would say, is you're less likely to get splashed on the booty. And the detriment is, well, how do we say it nicely? I don't think there is a nice way to say it. Skid marks are more likely. Another thing that surprised me is in all the apartments that we've been in, to turn the wall switch, to turn it off, you go up, and to turn it on, you go down, which I think is the opposite of what I remember in the US. Another thing is, since living here, it's been 3 years now, I have yet to see a box spring. I don't know if they exist here or not, but I get the sense they're not as common as they are in the US. Here we go. This is the apartment. Like I said, we just bought. It's my first time in it, visiting it, just trying to get things up and running. And see, there's no box spring, just mattress on bed frame. Finally, the only one that kind of bugs me, and it's not really a household item, but it is a quirky little difference, are the keyboards. They are not QWERTY keyboards, but AZERTY keyboards. Now, I've been told that you can buy laptops with the QWERTY keyboard, but when I looked into that, I couldn't get the model laptop that I wanted, not with the features that I wanted in QWERTY in Europe. So, yeah, I think, if you really want the flexibility of choice, then you may be stuck with an AZERTY keyboard unless you bring one over from the US, which I did when we moved here, but it eventually died and I had to get a new laptop. Now, you can go into the, I believe it's the Windows settings or the computer settings and switch the keyboard layout to QWERTY, but that doesn't change the labeling of the keys or the physical configuration of the keys. So, here on this, you can see this ZERTY Q is A, and A, I believe, is Q. Can't remember now. Or no. Well, anyway, I forgot. Yeah, I guess what is A? I have to go down there and, yeah, I believe that's Q. So, Z is W, and you can see they're all different. So I mean, I'm a formally trained typer, so I don't need to see the, for the most part, sometimes I forget, I don't need to see the letters on the keys. Comes sort of intuitively or through muscle memory. But what's also different is the size and shape of some of the adjunct keys. For example, the shift and the shift lock here, and the return key. Both are smaller and placed differently than they typically are on QWERTY keyboards. And I've struggled with doing the shift and shift lock. I always inadvertently hit shift lock. Well, not always, but very frequently. Quite annoying. And then I sometimes blank on where are colons or quotation marks or things like that. In those cases, I actually do have to see the key labels and actually have to look up a QWERTY keyboard online. So I've arrived back home now and just thought of another quirky difference. The windows on every house in France have shutters. And I mean functional shutters. They're either of the leaf variety or a roll up and down type shutter. Sometimes they're electric, as you can see here, and sometimes they're hand crank. And the French pretty much use them on a daily basis. And from what I can tell, as a result, French homes are less likely to have curtains or drapes. It's not uncommon, but not as common as in the US, where curtains and drapes are pretty much in 100% of households. In contrast, in France, you have shutters in 100% of households. So these are a few of the differences that come to mind. There are, I believe, a lot more differences, so that'll have to be the content for another video. So with that, I bid you adieu. Have a great day.